Yeah, obviously, Toledo game, we played well in the first half. Wasn't able to replicate that. We have to be able to put two halves together. I thought they did a good job scheming us up in the second half. Scheming our defense up and creating some explosive type plays. We have to be able to match their, scoring opportunities offensively, and we didn't get that done. But good football game to learn from. I think we took some things that we can do better, obviously, this week, going against Eastern Michigan, who's a very good football team, and I'm sure they'll be, fired up to play on their senior day. But we'll be ready as well, and looking forward to the road trip.
Okay, for a reminder for all of our media on hand, if you want to raise your hand or click in the chat, type in hit raise hand, we'll start taking questions for Coach. Go ahead, Derek. You should be unmuted.
All right. Coach, just making it through this season, it's been a challenge for a lot of teams around the country. Just what's it taught you as a head coach just about navigating through this kind of situation away from the field, and then what you've had to do on the field as well?
Yeah, it's certainly been a challenge. Not having the ability to go through spring practice, the stop and start mentality this summer would if we were playing, if we wasn't playing, and then obviously, having some COVID issues of ourselves this summer was a challenge. And I think, one thing that I'm learning from a coach is that, if you can get through this season of 2020, every other season should be a piece of cake. And obviously, we've had to alter a lot of things that we're doing. We've had to alter our approach, to make sure that we can stay safe and give us the best opportunity to continue to play. And I want to commend our young men. I think they've done everything possible to make sure they can stay safe and healthy. I think the protocols for the MAC has been fantastic. And, we're looking forward to having one more opportunity to go out there and play on Saturday.
Thanks.
Go ahead, James. You should be unmuted.
Coach, you're going against a Eastern Michigan team that last week sort of saw their offense come to life against Western. From the tape you've seen of them so far this year, what are some of the things they do to really attack offensively? Because even while the record may not show it, they've been a pretty strong offensive team this year.
Well, they have an offense that is built around the quarterback. He is a very good player. They put a great scheme together to get you outnumbered, to get you in one-on-one situations. He does a great job finding his wide receivers in space. They're more quick type players, and they can create explosive plays. Last week, the running back came back, number 27, who was a good player, broke some tackles, ran physical, which probably added another dimension to their offense. And then they were able to, get turnovers. They got 3 turnovers in the game and scored points off those turnovers. And they have excellent special teams. So this is a very well-coached football team. And obviously we have to be able to play our best football to win the game.
This is another team just like you guys that seem to have a lot of underclassmen who are getting playing time. You've talked about this year how when you put your guys on film, it doesn't look like they're first years or sophomores or anything like that. Do you see sort of the same thing? Is this a competitive team even despite having so much freshmen on the field?
Yeah, I mean, they're very competitive. I think their games probably mimic our games in a lot of situations. And last week they were able to pull it out, and obviously I think the turnovers was a big piece to that puzzle. We would have loved to get 3 turnovers against Western Michigan and see what happens, but we didn't. But this is a good team, a young team. I'm not sure they're quite as young as we are, but we're getting better. Our young men are, we had a great day of practice this morning, and they'll be fired up, ready to play.
And then lastly, none of us here are weathermen, so we don't know for sure, certainly. But weather forecasts for this Saturday in Michigan show a high chance for precipitation. You guys have been preaching about how you've been practicing out in the elements this year, in snow, in rain, in the cold. How confident are you guys going into a game where the elements are going to probably play a factor?
Yeah, I think we're very confident. Like I said, we haven't practiced inside all year. So it's been cold, it's been rainy, it's snowed, it's been sunny, it's been hot, it's been all of those things. So, we're fully prepared for the elements. We expect to handle the elements the right way and try to play our best football game.
All right, thank you,
Plus, we played in a lot of rain games last year.
That's true. Thank you.
Thomas, just
Should he open?
Thomas, sorry, one question about weather. Did you make a conscious decision to practice outside a long time ago just because, or was that? Can you explain that thought process?
Yeah, I think for us, number one, we got to continue to build the toughness and mentality of our football team. And the second reason was obviously COVID, having an opportunity to not go indoors for an extended period of time in practice. I thought, to me, was the best thing to do was to practice outside and stay outside, just like, all the recommendations that we get from everybody across the country is, when you're indoors, there's a chance that this virus can spread. So, for us, we wanted to stay safe. We wanted to stay healthy, and we've done that, and we practice outside the whole time.
Eddie, go ahead. Are you still on, Eddie?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Coach, I noticed, I don't know how I missed this Saturday, but Kyle didn't play Saturday, right?
Uh-huh. No, he did not.
So, what's his status? What was the issue, and what's his status moving forward?
Well, he had got injured in the Ball State game, and so he got injured in the Western Michigan game, and he was out last week. But we fully anticipate that he will play this week.
Also, you'd mentioned Cole been going through something. How's he looking?
Looking good. Looking good.
Then, you touched on the turnovers. Obviously, how important is it going to be for you guys? This is a team that's forced a ton of turnovers all year in Eastern Michigan. I know you guys were susceptible to that this year. Obviously, how much more important is it this week?
Well, I think we were susceptible early in the season. I think we've improved as the season went along. And I think, we won the turnover battle last week. We didn't have a turnover the week before. So I think our players have really taken to heart to be able to protect the ball. The ball is the program. And we got to continue to do so in the elements. And I think, you should have more of a focus and more of a premium on protecting the ball in rainy conditions if it was to rain.
What do you think you talked about their quarterback a little bit. What do you think the keys are going to be to kind of slow him down there?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very dynamic player. I don't know if anybody has quite slowed him down all season. If you try to load up against the run, they'll throw it. If you try to load up against the pass, they'll run it. I think we have to, try to force them to, go the long, hard way. Don't give up any cheap, explosive plays. I think, last week, they had a wide receiver catch a ball and nobody was by him. If we can limit, the mental mistakes on defense and play sound and make them go, 10, 12 play drives, I think that gives us a better chance to be successful.
Have you talked much with especially the seniors this year, or is this a after the season type thing, getting a sense for who's going to take advantage of the free year, so to speak, and coming back?
We started to have some conversations, and obviously we will continue to do so, after the game and kind of figure out where we need to go as a football team.
What's that kind of look like so far? What's the general sense of that extra year that you've been, obviously not going into specifics or selling anyone out, but just what's the general sense you've been getting of how the seniors are approaching that option?
Well, I think obviously they see the talent on our football team, and I think they want to be a part of it. I think, the hard part is, we're not a Power 5 team, and there are only so many scholarships that you can give. So there are roster limits and scholarship limits that's a part of it too. So, all those things we've been working out all season, and, we'll have a plan moving forward of what our 2021 team will look like.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Brandon Suarez, Huskies on Tap, you should be open.
Thanks. Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing great. So quick question about this weekend. I heard either James or Eddie talk about, this is a very similar team, a young team. They've kind of had a similar season to us. How do we make sure that we get 4 quarters of complete football and make, that one less mistake than them and come out with a victory this Saturday?
Yeah, I think, our team has been building week to week. I think we've gotten better, and I think that we got to understand that this may be the last game for some guys, and go out there and play your best ball, embrace it, enjoy it, have fun with it, because I think, we want to make sure we play well for our seniors, and if they choose to move on, we give them every opportunity to go out with a win.
And then, kind of similar to last year, we saw some aggressive calls. We saw the Husky special last year in the last game against Western Michigan. You got any tricks up your sleeve for this weekend or any aggressive play calls in mind for this game?
Well, I'm sure most opposing coaches watch these videos, so, it wouldn't be very, very smart to, talk about some things we may or may not do,
Fair point. Without giving anything away, my bad. And then obviously, you talked a little bit about Hutchinson. It's a guy who can hurt you with his legs. He has a great arm. He was up for a national award last week. How can you make sure that we keep him in the pocket and that our defensive line is getting home, who have been able to get home relatively well, with the exception of the Buffalo game?
Yeah, no, I think, it's certainly a challenge. I think we gotta get 11 guys to the football. And the thing that makes him really, really good is even when you get close, he could pump fake you. I seen him pump fake a unblocked DN and then walk in for a touchdown. So he's very crafty. He's very elusive. You can tell he's a very smart player because everything runs through him. And, certainly a guy that's, fun to watch. We've watched him quite a bit and fun to kind of see how they built their offense around him, because I think we got a young man in Dustin Fletcher that, can do some similar things that we need to build our offense around.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, do we have any more questions for head coach Thomas Hammock from anybody? All right, with that, thank you, Coach. And we will be bringing on tight end Daniel Crawford, senior. Can we, there you go. Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Do we have anybody, same thing with Coach? If anyone has any questions for Daniel, please put them in there in the chat or raise your hand. Eddie Carifio, you should be unmuted now. Go ahead.
Hey, Daniel, I was wondering how much thought you've given to the extra year potential, that you have of coming back. I mean, I know you've obviously been here a while, been playing a while. Have you given much thought to whether you're coming back another year or not?
I mean, yeah, I've been given pretty much that sounds kind of distorted. I've been given extra years of thought for a pretty long time now. So, yeah, it's always in the back of my head going through the season and everything like that. But my main focus throughout the whole thing is just trying to figure out a way to get a win.
What have you seen against these guys offensively that you think you're going to have to do to be successful?
Excuse me, what'd you say?
What do you think you're going to have to do against these guys to be successful on offense?
Execute, take care of the football like every week and be able to run the football as well. They play a lot of quarters, and I feel like if we are able to run the football, then the passing game will open up off of that.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Brandon Suarez of Huskies on Tap, you should be unmuted.
Hey, Daniel, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So I just actually saw in the chat here, Donna put that you're one of the 7 Detroit area natives on the Huskies this roster. What's it like being able to play so close to home? Obviously, I know we don't have fans in the stands this year. Traditionally, that'd be a game that you'd probably have some family at. But what's it like being able to travel back to your home state to play some football?
It's always good, Yeah, of course it's different this year because of COVID and I can't have my family or my friends there. But it's always good to just be in Michigan playing football. It gives you a high school football vibe, and it's just fun. It makes it more fun and it gives you more of an incentive to play. Not that I need one, but it just makes it that much more fun.
And then I know we've talked about that, the possibility of that extra year. It's kind of floating around for a bunch of, student athletes with everything going on with COVID this year. If this is your last game in a Husky uniform, what can we expect from you?
If this is my last game in a Husky uniform, you can expect me going hard. That's for sure.
The hard way. Love it. Thank you.
Hard. That's for sure.
And go ahead, James Krause of the Northern Star. You should be unmuted.
Thanks. Daniel, apologies here. I just lost my train of thought. This is now week 6 of the regular season for you guys, along with a camp that started kind of later than normally for you guys. A rough season now with 5 straight losses. And at the start of the year, you were one of the guys everyone kind of looked at as a leader in terms of, we all talked about the juice committee and bringing your own energy. Now, 6 weeks through a particularly rough season, where's the energy level at for this team? Is it still as high as it was sort of at the start of the year?
Yeah, I think it definitely is still pretty high because, the good thing with this team, the culture is you don't really look for outside motivation. The motivation is getting better every day and just coming to work with our teammates. And just like you said, we started camp kind of late, but we've been here since the summer, working and everything, and we've been building these habits. So I feel like that's enough motivation in itself. It's just the fact that we're together every day, working hard. That's juice right there. We work hard together every day. So no matter the outcome, we know the work that we put in, and regardless of the outcome, we just like to work.
All right. Thank you, Daniel.
No problem.
All right, Andy Garcia, you should be unmuted.
Yeah, Daniel, with you being one of the top guys and being here for so long, you see so much talent on the offense, and you see Rudolph, and you see the running backs. What do you tell these guys? What's the mindset you put in their minds that, hey, you guys are just learning the game. Wait till you guys get better. What have you said to them about that?
Really, I just let them know that this is still football. Inside zone is still inside zone. Outside zone is always going to be outside zone. That linebacker is still going to be a linebacker. The A-gap is the A-gap. Everything is still simple. It's still football. The only thing that makes it hard is the logistics of it that changes. Now we have a new offense for them. They're younger, so they have to learn many new different positions, whereas before they might have to learn 1 or 2 positions. Now, Trayvon, he has to know everything. You see him on kickoff return. You see him in the slot. You see him on the outside. Sometimes he even lines up at quarterback. So, I mean, they have to know everything. That's the biggest thing I've been trying to explain to them, like, hey, let me calm your world down and let you know that this is still football and you don't have to stress about everything. And it's still going to be simple. It's just you might have to take a little bit more on your plate now.
Yeah, I hear that tight ends are always open on every play. Is that true? Are you always open on every play, Daniel? You go back to the quarterback and always say, I'm open?
I'm always open. I'm not going to. Ross will tell that to you yourself. He trusts in 88. I like when he comes to me because I like to be sure-handed. So
thanks, man.
No problem.
Do we have any more questions here for Daniel from the group? One more really quick. Let me try and get you, Eddie. You should be unmuted, Eddie.
Hey, Dan, just one thing kind of touching off what you said. Just obviously, this was a shortened season and everything. I mean, it's only the 5 games or the 6 games, the young players, all that stuff going into it.
Right.
Still being winless in this. Obviously, and with this potentially being your last game, how much, I guess, is that kind of up the stakes? Does this game have a different feeling toward it, or is this just another game?
I would honestly say this is just another game because, if you know my situation and you know my story, I never know when it could be my last game, So I go out every game, every week, like it could be possibly my last play. So, I mean, every week I approach it with the same mindset. Every morning I approach it with the same mindset. It's just a blessing to just be able to walk onto the field and to be able to walk off of it at the end.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, with that, well, thank you for joining us, Daniel. We're going to bring on our freshman safety, Jordan Hansen. Same thing here with everyone here. If anyone has any questions here for Jordan, please either raise your hand or put it in the chat that you'd you'd like to ask. Go ahead, Brandon. You should be open.
Thank you. Hey, Jordan, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So with the defense this year, we've seen some great performances. You guys have gone up against, some NFL level talent. What would you say your biggest challenge is going to be this weekend against Eastern Michigan?
I mean, like Coach said, the quarterback really knows how to make plays. And I think the challenge for us will just be able to, keep him under control, keep the ball in front of us, and make plays when they present themselves.
Yeah, and then on the topic of the quarterback, he's got 6 interceptions on the year. You're a guy yourself who I believe has a couple interceptions this season as well. A guy that really likes to air it out. So, in my opinion, I really feel like the secondary is going to be busy this Saturday. What can we expect, or what are some goals that you have for your performance this weekend?
I always go out there and just try to make every play that comes to me. We got to stay in our coverage, can't get bad eyes, and just focus on making the plays when they come to us, and you can't get greedy with he might be trying to look you off or stuff like that. So you just got to be disciplined, and if the ball goes in there, you got to know that's your ball.
And then last one here, as one of the many freshmen on this team in key contributing roles, how have you been able to make the jump from high school to college so, effortlessly?
I'd give it a lot of credit to the older guys, like Crawford was saying. They just let us know that it's still football. They brought you in here for a reason, and you just gotta have confidence in yourself to make plays. Because I think that's one of the number one things. Is just knowing that you can make the play.
Thanks, Jordan.
No problem.
Okay, we have a question from Andy Garcia. Andy, you should be open.
Jordan, if you could go back just 2 months ago, what would you tell yourself 2 months ago about playing D1 that you know now?
If I could go back and tell myself something, it'd just be to attack every day, attack every practice, because those are the times you really get better. You can't really take anything for granted, because these days they can go by quick, like all the older guys have been telling me. So you just got to take advantage of every day you're out there to get better.
Where do you believe your defense has gotten better since day one to where you guys are now?
I think we just play better as a unit in general, knowing that not every play is your play. You just got to get to your gap, get to your assignment, and then if the ball comes to you, that you got to make the play.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jordan.
Dan Gutowski, you have a question here for Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan, just a question. You and Eastern Michigan, I mean, kind of the seasons a little bit parallel each other. Obviously, not having a victory per se, but just being a little bit younger and inexperienced. When you see what they did against Western Michigan, does it make you guys feel like, we can have a breakthrough game just like they did? Does that kind of give you a little bit more ammunition that you're maybe not as far away from that as you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we go into every game thinking we could win. We prepare like we should win, and it's just about finishing the game. We usually play a good first half, so we just got to put together a good second half and finish the game off strong.
Thank you.
James Krause, you should be unmuted. You can go ahead.
Thanks. Jordan, now that you're through your first season of collegiate football, what's been the most difficult part for you just going through the season, now coming up on your last game of the year?
The most difficult part would probably be, for me, like in terms of my play, is just tackling. At the beginning of the season, I wasn't sure in my technique and everything, and it just comes with confidence too, having confidence to know that you can make plays out there and really contribute to the team. So I'd say just knowing that I could make plays out there just like everybody else.
Physicality was something I was going to ask you about. Is it easier just having gone through, I guess, the cycle of every week, recovering and getting ready for game day? Is it easier now at this point of the year to play physical, or is it a little harder now that you have the wear and tear on you?
I'd say it's easier. We're still attacking the weight room, and we're still hitting every day in practice. So I think every week I get better, and it just gets easier and easier to play physical, in my opinion.